The crisis at the southern border is costing states across the country billions of dollars as they struggle to house migrants. And many state and city leaders are furious that they're left paying the bill. Congress recently approved $800 million to help deal with the flood of people trying to get into the U.S., but that is far from enough. And now a battle has erupted after the state of Arizona received only a fraction of what the state of New York got. NewsNation's Ali Bradley's in Arizona tonight following the money. Ali, there's a lot that goes into determining which states get what money. Break it down for us.
Yeah, you're exactly right here, Elizabeth. And of course, Arizona's independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema is advocating for that money to stay in her state, saying that border communities need the money the most. She's saying that she is livid that other states are getting more money. She's saying that states like New York are getting preferential treatment because high-profile lawmakers live there. However, the city sees a different reality. It's money Arizona's independent senator says she worked hard to get. $800 million set aside by Congress earmarked for the border crisis. It's money Kyrsten Sinema says she expected to stay on the front lines of immigration. But states like New York are getting nearly double what her border state is getting. Arizona will receive about $69 million when all is said and done and is home to one of the busiest sectors right now. New York, meanwhile, is set up with more than $134 million in funding. But according to the city, New York has spent $1.73 billion providing care to more than 101,000 migrants since April of last year and anticipates spending $5 billion this fiscal year alone.
None of this is ideal. None of this is even good. We're barely scraping by. And we just need more support.
New York City says if things don't change, it will spend $12 billion over the next 3 years. The high cost is due in part to New York's unique right to shelter law that has been in place since 1981. It requires the city to provide housing to every unhoused person, and some of the housing options cost more than other shelters.
We need things to change. We are going to make things change on the city level. We need our state and federal partners to do a little bit more so that we do that. $12 billion is not an acceptable number.
While Arizona sees substantially more migrants entering the state, the number that stay is much lower. However, the impact is still felt on facilities in border communities. The Yuma Regional Medical Center is sitting on more than $26 million in uncompensated care, and the Yuma Community Food Bank saw a 20% increase in June in migrants seeking residency there in order to receive that benefit. Now, despite Senator Sinema's protests, New York Mayor Adams has repeatedly pointed the finger at Texas Governor Greg Abbott for what he calls a political stunt in moving migrants up via bus to the Northeast. But here's the thing, Elizabeth, I've spent a lot of time down at the southern border and a lot of time talking with migrants. And many of the migrants that I talk with before they've even interacted with Border Patrol, before they've interacted with any non-governmental organization and an NGO, they tell me they are going to Nueva York. They're going to New York, Elizabeth. And the NGO down in Del Rio often posts about how grateful they are and how grateful the migrants are for this free bus ride up to New York. Now, when it comes to how many migrants actually stay in Arizona, that's harder to count. There isn't an actual census or an actual way to count and track migrants who live in the state of Arizona, Elizabeth.
Yeah, there are 100,000 migrants in New York City right now, costing the city $1 million a day to feed and care for them. So Mayor Adams has been very critical of President Biden and his border policies. Big battle. All right. Ali Bradley, thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.